Hello and welcome. My name is Jeff Smith, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development for International Integrated Solutions, or IIS as we're known in the industry. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. We are excited to be talking about a new and advanced hyperconverged offering from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, the HC380, and how IIS can deliver quick time to value for you and your hyperconverged investment. Now, many of you don't know who IIS is, and I'd like to use our mission statement to talk a little bit about who we are. IIS is a systems integrator that's all about our customers and their success. Our creed is if our customers are successful, IIS is successful. A little bit of history. IIS has been in business for 26 years, and we have successfully grown as a systems integrator here in the Northeast for those number of years. IIS started out as an engineering company building trading systems in the financial services industries, and that engineering DNA remains today in IIS as we maintain a 3-to-1 ratio of engineers to sales, operation, and marketing. Our focus has been and continues to be building agile infrastructure environments that our customers rely on to operate their businesses. In addition, as much of the industry is rapidly changing in this age of digital transformation, IIS has invested and continues to invest and grow our new business focuses on software-centric solutions for hybrid cloud, big data, security, and mobility transformational domains. In regard to our relationship with HP, IIS is an HPE Platinum Partner for the enterprise infrastructure platforms that they offer, as well as, which is unique to an HP partner in the ecosystem, an HPE Software Platinum Partner. These credentials enable IIS to not only build the new generation of platforms required to operate your business in today's world, but also to optimize, automate, manage, and secure the workloads running on those platforms. We are proud of our success, and as you can see, we have won a number of industry awards that indicate our leadership in the market. So moving on to our keynote session for today, I'm pleased to introduce Paul Miller, HPE's Vice President of Converged Solutions. Paul's going to tell us about the HC380 story and its industry-leading value proposition. In addition, he will be delivering a demonstration of the VM vending instance of the HC380. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks, Jeff, and I'd like to thank IIS, who we've worked with over the number of the years. Very professional, great operation, and highly talented. And as Jeff pointed out, we like working with them. They have a deep engineering technical skill to really help customers achieve their needs. So thanks to Jeff, thanks for IIS, and also thank you all for joining this webinar. What I'd like to do is start off and just kind of set some framework for what is hyperconverged, and how is it defined and what does it really mean across all the different solutions. So hyperconvergence is very simply built on standard server hardware plus software-defined storage. So this is software-defined storage. HP has its own, and I'll talk about, or a vSAN architecture that comes from VMware. A hypervisor is required. And then there's management, which wraps this all around to make it easy. So then you have the minus sign, so you don't have to worry. Tasks are simple. Updates are simple. So everything is put together into a simple appliance that enables you this end-to-end singular interface to really do and stand up virtual environments quite easily. Now, there's a number of different architectures in the environment that you probably heard about, right? So there's converged infrastructure, hyperconverged systems, and then composable, which HP announced about a year ago at our show in Las Vegas. The converged infrastructure category, as defined by Gartner and IDC, is largely a hardware-defined infrastructure. They're typically purpose-built, such as integrated systems for SAP's HANA or integrated systems for Oracle databases. They're largely built in a factory, pre-integrated by taking common infrastructure building blocks and enabling you to have a workload optimized system, but it's fairly rigid, right? It's optimized for time to value, how fast I can get going, and then lowers cost over time through things like integrated lifecycle management. But it's still largely designed for a data center admin, right? There's no integration of a server tool with the virtualization for a converged system that's been designed for a VM farm. Or let's go to my HANA example, right? You go from your server admin tools to your HANA tools are completely separate. When you think about hyperconvergence, then you start to bring in software-defined storage and start to see a more integrated experience. And, as we talk about, you'll see they're optimized for VM vending. So the VMware stack and the management stack of the hardware are integrated so that a single person, an IT generalist, can interact with the system and deploy VMs from a single tool, single interface, manage the firmware upgrades and the system lifecycle management through a single interface, etc. And that's what hyperconvergence is all about. Now, hyperconvergence is also about virtualization, right? It's about a virtual storage device, about a virtualization environment, standing up VMs. And that's a little bit different than composable infrastructure. And composable infrastructure is really the next step. And that's where we see, instead of just software-defining storage, it's software-defining everything, right? From the compute, the network, the storage, everything, and being able to handle all workloads, physical, virtual containers. The difference also in a composable infrastructure, all of the components, the compute components, the storage components, are all stateless. And so at time of deploying a workload, they take on the personality of that workload. So let's say I'm deploying a virtualization machine, the servers will take on that personality. If I'm deploying a bare metal physical database, they take on that personality. So it's very much, this is where we get the name composable. It's very flexible, and again, typically today it's designed for large data centers that are deploying multiple different workloads. But the way we see the market, and you can look at others who are discussing the great world of infrastructure, is such as Gartner and IDC, is a progression, right? Where you started off with kind of traditional architecture, which is very siloed, compute, storage, and networking very siloed, to the shared, as I talked about, converged infrastructure, where you put the pieces of compute, storage, and networking together for a purpose-built workload, to this hyperconverged world and hyperconverged infrastructure. And then the next step is composable. And this is where we see our strategy and our roadmap is to move our technology and IP along so that the world will be, not tomorrow, but in the next couple of years, you'll be buying all composable infrastructure when you are looking at a workload. That'll be kind of the bulk and the norm of what you're buying. And we see hyperconvergence will take our hyperconverged solutions and make them more flexible so they will be composable infrastructures in the future. But, for the next 2+ years, the hyperconverged market is big and it's growing. As they say, in 5 years it'll become mainstream, and in 16, growing to about a $2 billion TAM this year is what Gartner estimates, and then $5 billion in 2019. And why are people buying these systems, right? Why are you all of a sudden saying just laying an EXX VM application stack on top of, let's say, a rack mount server is not good enough? Well, customers are looking for greater simplicity, and you'll see some of that simplicity in what I demonstrate. And again, it's marrying the infrastructure with the application. What this enables you to do is deploy workloads faster to lower your costs. These are lowering your admin costs, as well as you can see, we'll talk about lowering CapEx costs as well. A lot of environments, you don't have IT specialists, and you need a solution where you can deploy it anywhere and have someone be able to manage it. Large companies who have remote sites are one of the key deployers of this IT environment. We're working with some energy companies who want to put systems out on oil rigs. Obviously, you don't want to pay for an IT specialist out on an oil rig. Or even a lot of this has been in public sector. One of the groups we're working with is a school district. Not a lot of IT deep expertise they want to hire in a school district, so obviously they want to hire teachers. And so these solutions are gaining a lot of popularity in those environments. Some of the other key attributes are they're just extremely efficient, and then allowing us high-level VM visibility, VM control, all from a single console. And earlier this year, we announced our new Hyperconvergence 380, which is really, we talk about it being a VM vending machine. And the concept is similar. You go up to a vending machine, you select what you want, and the vending machine delivers it. Similar concept, going up to a single console, selecting the VMs you want, small, medium, and large, or however you want to shape them, and they're given to the end user. We've really designed it around 4 key principles. One, it has to be intuitive. It has to be so easy that anyone can use it. It has to be federated so that all your data, all your lifecycle management are able to be federated across the fabric. Smart, so it has all the analytics at your fingertips so that you know when you're running out of capacity how the system is actually performing and how healthy it is. And then it's got to be affordable. And as you'll see, we also built our solution on the best-selling server in the world, the DL380, the ProLiant DL380, so that you have confidence in deploying that system. So let's take a little more deeper look at the overall components that we have. Again, built on our DL380 world-class server. Then we lay on our own Hyperconvergence, our software-defined software stack, the Store Virtual VSA, which we'll talk about in detail a little bit later. Then we layer on standard VMware, and then we put on top of that this next-generation user experience, which wraps all the software together and the hardware together into a single user experience and a single advanced experience that you'll see. Again, this is built on the #1 server in the world. It's simple to use, simple to deploy, something that customers are familiar with. And we saw this as an opportunity. While more people deploy VM and virtual environments on DL380, an opportunity to make that a better experience and a more simple experience. So let's take a look at the overall software architecture just a little more deeply. When you start looking at the DL380, what you'll see is some of the nodes will be software-defined nodes that contain the storage, and some of the nodes are server nodes that contain the virtualization environment. We support the virtualization 6. You'll see us continue to support more. It comes with vCenter embedded onto it, and then OneView Instant On to help the start and boot up of this. It's built on OneView, so customers seeing OneView and understanding how OneView works, this will be a very common experience. We don't expose all of OneView out. And then the unified environment. Then on top of that, you can lay other solutions. Our cloud system solutions, VMware Horizon, systems from Citrix, that actually lay their applications or their workloads down on top of the virtual machines. So while we position it as a VM vending machine, the ultimate is then to marry it with other solutions so that you're actually deploying VDIs easy, VDI environments easy, deploying databases easy, etc. Okay. So let me peel down and kind of give a little more on the overall environment. And we talk about deploying at cloud speeds, right? Everyone wants to deploy fast. Cloud speeds is kind of our way of talking about that, and the simplicity of going to a single portal and being able to deploy a virtual environment, a VM farm, very, very easy. Now, we've put this new UI experience, and this is where it's so simple to operate. Again, we talk about it being intuitive. Talk about not requiring any manuals to work, right? It's like when you download an application on your cell phone. You don't have manuals with it. It's intuitive. You know how it works. You can figure it out very, very easily. And that's what we've done. And what you'll see is not only is this user experience available through a traditional monitor, but you can actually do all the tasks on your cell phone. And we've made it that easy. So very simple, very secure, 3 clicks for firmware updates, 5 clicks to deploy VM. But better than me talking about it, let me show you a demo that we developed. So if I do this right.
When you power up your HC380, you see your dashboard. This provides a summary of all the activity across your entire virtualization cluster. It shows you your CPU utilization, your memory utilization, and your storage utilization. Through these donuts, you see that you're actually doing pretty well. You have more than enough capacity to continue to perform well. As you scroll down, you can see the latest tasks that have been running on your system and which administrator may have removed the cluster or added a new cluster to the system. Here you see a simple view of all the virtual machines underneath that cluster. You can see the virtual machines that have been created today, in the last 7 days, or the last 30 days. Let me go select on one of these. Here again you see the simple donuts and the simple view of the CPU utilization. Again, you can tell at a glance for this VM exactly what's happening. You can track storage over time, network utilization, and the activities. In a simple view, intuitive, you have the console. You can restart, snapshots, power off this VM, and edit it. Very, very simple and intuitive. Okay, for this next part, we're going to create a VM. So I'm going to need a volunteer. Okay, Jim, you're it. Let's do this. Okay, Jim, have you ever had your own personalized virtual machine before? Well, we're going to make one for you. So I simply go over on my dashboard and click on the plus. Again, it's intuitive. And we're going to name this one after you. It's going to be Jim. Okay, Jim, what kind of VM do you want to be? Small, medium, or large? Okay, you're going large today. Let's make you large. So I just click on the large. Now let me scroll down. What image do you want on your virtual machine? You can be Windows, Ubuntu, CentOS. Okay, you're a Windows guy. Let me select that. And I could add a network. Let me just add you. Right now what you see is the virtual machine being built. The compute, the storage are all being built and the virtual machine, ESX, being laid on top. What you saw, that was all in 5 clicks in a very intuitive way. Now let me go back to the virtual machine dashboard. What you see, Jim, is you've been added today to our virtual machine pool. But you're powered off. You're not online yet. So, Jim, I'm going to have to ask you a very personal question. Can I turn on your virtual machine? And when I go back to the dashboard, Jim, now you see you're green and you're powered on, ready for a workload. Now let me show you some other simple, intuitive ways to see what's happening in your environment. At a simple glance, you can see the utilization across your VM cluster. This way, at a glance, you can tell, do I need to rebalance my virtual machines? Do I need to add more capacity to a virtual machine? With a simple, intuitive view, you have the power to manage and see what I need to do in my environment. Next, let me just show you how easy it is to build custom VM sizes for yourself. Remember, Jim, we picked the large for you. But let's say you want to build your own virtual machines and give them names that your users are going to understand. So simply, again, go up, click on the plus to add. And let's say you want virtual machines for your SQL farm. So I'm going to just name this Jim's SQL farm. Okay. And for SQL, we're going to give it a power of, we'll boost up the virtual CPUs to 12. We want a lot of memory, so we're going to go with 16 gigs of memory. And then disk space, let's crank this up to about 500. Click, and I've just added this. So now, as you see, Jim, you have your own SQL farm. That way people can understand you've built unique custom virtual machines optimized for your environment. that can be selected and deployed very, very quickly. Wasn't that intuitive? And everything I just showed you, you can do on your own mobile device. Just think, you're in a meeting or at lunch and you get an alert about a VM that's gone bad. You can simply go into the tool, understand what happened, and then make a decision. Do I stop? Do I restart the VM? And get it back online so I can continue on with my meeting or lunch.
Great. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little video clip of us talking about and showing off the power of the new solution. And what you kind of saw there is, it took about a minute to deploy VM. That system was actually running live on some servers in our R&D lab, about 5 clicks to deploy a VM, and to do a firmware upgrade, about 3 clicks. So the simplicity of what you can do is, and I say, almost anyone can become VM administrator with those capabilities. Let me talk about a few of the other key attributes, right? The simplified operations. One of the cornerstones of simplifying operations is how we handle storage. Our storage footprint and virtual architecture was actually built off the technology we acquired from Left Hand Networks almost about 10 years ago. So you could say that HP was doing hyperconverged before hyperconverged was cool. One of the things that we've done, because we started from a different point of view, is Store Virtual runs, as you know, on any standard server node. It's been around, so it's 5 nines proven availability over hundreds and hundreds of sites and petabytes of data. And because it's built on the Store Virtual fabric, you could have hyperconverged nodes, as the diagram would show at the left, or at the right, sorry, deployed at remote sites and back up to a server running VSA. This is different than other people's approaches where you have to deploy multiple appliances, back them up to an appliance. We see data mobility, being able to go from appliance to appliance to a server, as key to enabling customers true flexibility in their environments. In addition, again, the benefits of what we're doing with the Store Virtual is removing silos. So our virtualization, our Hyperconverged 380, is not propagating silos of data. Right? Your data is mobile, it's flexible, and agile. And then it's a proven storage technology. With 9 years of experience, I said almost 10 years since we've acquired the Left Hand Networks, 2 million plus nodes distributed around the world running VSA and petabytes of data. So a proven technology. This next slide really showcases some of the attributes of this a little bit more deeper, where you can deploy a Store Virtual Array with the virtualization technology, VSA on servers, a hyperconverged appliance, or even our future Synergy, all using the Store Virtual as a common data fabric to move your storage around. You could even put on there, but we wouldn't, a third-party server vendor that could be running VSA as well, all based so that you can move data seamlessly and across the board, making it very easy to protect, efficient, and intelligent, and giving you choice of where and how you want to utilize your data and store your data. So a lot of flexibility in what we're doing. Next, it's about the software technology that's at your fingertips. So we built in our HP Cloud Optimizer product. It helps you determine the right places to put your workloads, how efficient your system is, and then gives you hints and clues so that you don't have issues. So intelligence built in to log each instance, look for anomalies, and tell you, hey, your system is going to have an issue, as well as do capacity planning so you can have and add additional capacity when and before you need it. Next, I'd like to talk, just kind of summarize. So, with our architecture and how we're simplifying IT, the data mobility we're giving you in the 5 nines availability in our storage architecture makes it simple to back up, simple to replicate, simple to manage the system. It's very, very efficient. Again, with the Cloud Optimizer analytics built in, right at your fingertips. It's sold as a separate software package today, But once you install it, all the analytics across the infrastructure, the VMs, all at your fingertips. Customers who have used this have been able to increase the VMs by 90%. So increase your hardware efficiency by up to 90% by giving you the ability to land the VMs in the right location for optimal hardware performance, reduce the outage time, etc. And all this can be done through that simple user interface. So no specialists required, a generalist can deploy and manage these systems. Last, I'd like to talk about how we're actually reducing your CapEx costs and simplifying the environment. So HP's system starts at 2 nodes. So you can get in with just 2 nodes to start and a very, very efficient system to scale to 16 nodes. Because it's built on the DL380, which you can look across the board, is one of the highest performing systems on virtualization, being able to support more VMs, higher IOs than any other system in the environment. And the IO operations is key for applications such as our virtual desktop environments, client environments, database environments. So it's a very high performing system. So we believe you'll be able to add fewer nodes and still get the same performance versus others who use, I call them traditional white box servers. So start smaller, scale more efficiently. And then because you don't need a separate appliance to back up and do disaster recovery, and the flexibility we give to run DSA on any server, you can set up a backup server and have disaster recovery, disaster tolerance scenarios at 62% lower costs. So, and this even scales when you start thinking about remote sites where you want to back up many servers to one, or many appliances to one server. Very, very efficient. And then through HP Financial Solutions, we have multiple different packages, whether you want to do pay-as-you-go flex capacity, lease options, or do it all in one simple pay price as a capital expense. So however you want to purchase this, we believe we can get you the lowest cost to start, lowest cost to scale, and then the lowest cost to protect your environment. So, sorry, go to the right one. So again, 62% lower disaster recovery cost, 2-node entry, and this lower starting price versus our competition. But let me talk about a couple customers. This is where I get really excited. One of our customers that actually has deployed HP Synergy as part of our early adopter program and our Hyperconvergence solution. For those not familiar with Hudson Health, and they're located in Alabama and in Birmingham, Alabama, and are a biotech consortium. So what they're trying to do is do genomic research to solve some of the world's diseases and medical issues and some of the things to make people's lives better. They were originally running all of their stuff in a cloud, actually Amazon's cloud. They actually looked at both solutions, composable infrastructure and hyperconverged. In the composable infrastructure, what they're looking to do and what they're doing on the system they have is it's one system to address multiple workloads, physical, virtual, and in the future containerized. Because they need the highest performance for these genomic analysis, they're running this on bare metal and actually seeing much better performance versus the cloud so that they can quickly diagnose issues and drive things. One thing about these genomic analysis, it's just not one algorithm. Depending on the issue they're trying to resolve, from cancer to birth defects to whatever, there are multiple different algorithms to solve the genomic puzzle. So they have multiple, as part of this consortium, multiple researchers who all have their different algorithms and different applications they're trying to run. So what they can do is quickly configure and then reconfigure the system to run those analyses so that they can go and give diagnosis back to a doctor in minutes versus hours. And that's important in this space. Now, on the hyperconverged space, for test dev and for building out these, what they wanted to do was have a self-serve vending machine where they didn't have to worry about it. Developer can come in, check out a VM by themselves, as I just showed you in 5 clicks, run their application. When they're done, return the VM back to their environment. So they're actually using the hyperconverged system as the test dev platform in a self-service, so any developer who needs it can come in and get the VM. They have small, medium, and larges. It provides a low-cost, low-touch solution for the developers who are part of the consortium to test out their algorithms and applications. And then when they want to put them in production, move them over to the Synergy device. Very, very two different use cases, but using Synergy and Composable and our Hyperconvergence 380 solution in tandem to really enable them to do things better and faster and cheaper than they had been doing in the cloud. Next, one customer we can't talk about is oil and gas, and this is what I mentioned earlier. Multiple locations, some on oil rigs. They need the ability to quickly manage, deploy these systems, right, out in the ocean, out in the desert, where there are low technical skills or low IT skills. They're probably high technical in the oil and gas industry, but not a virtualization manager. This is where they can utilize the low-cost backup that I talked about with very small network pipes to really get a faster solution, lower cost, simpler prepackaged solution where they can drop it on an oil rig, drop it in the desert, and be up and running very, very simply and easily. Another customer, Roger Communications. They were looking, again, for infrastructure building blocks to provide services for smaller providers, right? So as a service provider themselves, they wanted to offer simple, low-cost, nicely packaged, easy-to-use environments for their model. Again, quick to deploy, quick to manage, easy to drive. And so last, before we go into Q&A, which I really look forward to, is we're really excited about the Hyperconvergence 380. It's the adoption of this product is very, very strong. Again, no islands through our data center, mobility, global support from HP wherever you are. We have our partner community that's also able to support this, also able to do the installation. Built on our world's best DL380. It's easy to manage, simple, and you have the confidence of an upgrade to Composable. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are going to take our Hyperconverged solutions and move them to Composable. So with that, I'd like to thank you, and then I think we're going to open it up for questions and go from there. So,
well, before we do that, Paul, and thank you very much. Appreciate the presentation. It was very good. So just in closing, very briefly, I want to talk a little bit about why you might want to work with IIS for your Hyperconverged needs. And quite simply, that's proven success. IIS has greater than 250 successful Fortune 1000 customers, and we offer a full portfolio of hyperconverged systems, innovative financing, many of which Paul described in his presentation, and specialized service options to help you and your business quickly and successfully monetize your investment. And how we do this is by working closely with your team, becoming a valued member and extension of your team, working with you to determine your goals and your desired future state, then by assessing your workload requirements, your infrastructure assessment, your integration points, management tools, and much more, and then working to architect a solution and the services best suited to meet your needs and ensure success. So to contact IIS and to set up an appointment with us to talk about HPE's Hyperconverged solution, you can contact us by calling us at our number here, 516-396-6700, or please visit our website at www.isl.com. I also have included my contact information, so please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or want to reach out and contact IIS. So thank you. I guess we're now moving on to questions and answers.
Perfect. Thanks so much, both Jeff and Paul. Some wonderful information. We do have some time left. We've got a couple questions in the queue already, but please, we do have enough minutes. There's additional questions. Feel free. I think the first one, Paul, you might want to field this. We have a question in from Jessica asking about the long-term plan in terms of HPE's direction with hyperconvergence in the future. What's the long-term plan?
Yeah, so what you'll see us do is continually to integrate, more technology, more capabilities into our hyperconverged solutions to make it even easier to do more tasks simply and deeper integration of the solution. To deeper integrate the storage solution so it's easier to set up, easier to configure, and then go up stack, right? With HP, because we have our cloud offerings, we can begin, and you start to see a little bit of this, the integration of Cloud System 10 with OneView already gives a simpler experience, and you'll see us continue to drive those so people can not only deploy VMs, but deploy applications on top of those VMs in a few clicks in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you. We do have another question, and Paul, I think this will be another one for you. It's really focusing in on the marketplace. The question is, how does HPE compare in the marketplace against players like Nutanix and SimpliVity?
Right. So we are growing fast in the space. Obviously, Nutanix and SimpliVity were in this hyperconverged space before HP really jumped in with both feet, but we're in now to play and to win. And if you look at it, just a couple things, right? Our user experience, I think, is as equal, if not better, than both of these. Just in one example, you can't manage systems from your phone if you're using Nutanix or SimpliVity. There are a few features that they have, such as compression and dedupe, that you'll see us close the gap on very, very quickly here. But beyond that, I think we bring the strength of the HP and the HP partner network for global services and stability. The DL380, a much more higher performance, better solution, and the enterprise RAS that we've built in over 9 years into our VSA, brings that enterprise capability. So you'll see us quickly close all feature gaps, and then give you a much better experience. And then they're searching for a cloud experience. We already have that with the world's #1 private cloud with our Cloud System 10 offering.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. The next question in the queue is speaking to, looks like this one came from Jack. He's heard that some vendors like Skyport are selling hyperconvergence as a service. Is there a plan for this with the HC380?
We're starting to work with a few service providers to start to do that. I mean, Rogers is actually doing this a little bit, but it's a growing space, and I think it's a great opportunity for us. So my contact information is out there, so if there's any service providers who'd like to talk to HP about what we can do between our technology and our financial services, I think this is a growing space that we want to jump in on.
Terrific. Thank you, Paul. The next question we have, I think, Jeff, you might want to field this one. The question is, what direction would you have in terms of upgrading to maximize the benefits of hyperconverged?
Well, in regard to upgrading, certainly we work closely with HP and as a provider of their support services. We will act as an extension to HP in regard to working with you to set up regular visits, regular assessments of your infrastructure, work with you to upgrade your infrastructure as needed through its entire life cycle. So those are the type of services that we offer to our customers after implementation or post-implementation to ensure that their continued success with the HP solutions, including the hyperconverged solutions.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. We've got a last one in the queue, and Jeff, I think this would be another one for you to field. The question is, how do I assess where I am right now and what I need for that migration for my data center?
Yeah, I touched on that a little bit. Certainly, we need to understand, and we work with you to determine your goals as to which workloads you would like to migrate to a hyperconverged environment. Not all environments are suited for hyperconverged, so we will work with you and your teams to determine which workloads are currently best suited to work on a hyperconverged environment, or work with your teams to help you re-architect workloads so that they are suited for a hyperconverged environment. So those are some of the services that we offer to our customers, is that workload assessment, again, to determine what is best suited and what can be migrated and re-architected to work in a hyperconverged environment.
So we're really talking about a best fit solution. Okay, thank you. Looks like we've gone through all the questions in the queue at this point. I think we're in good shape here. So I'd like to just close thanking everybody for your time this afternoon, and a special thank you to Paul for sharing some really great actionable information, and for Jeff from IIS as well. We hope that you come away from the webinar today with information that you can apply to your data center, and just feel you have a better understanding of where you can go in terms of hyperconverge and the benefits that it can bring to you. So with that, everybody have a great afternoon, and thank you.